Happy Tuesday, VV Nation. Ryan here. Always a pleasure giving the 6 p.m. videos. Tonight, I wanted to put something on your radar. Now, you give me a lot of stocks in the comment section. A lot of good stocks, a lot of stocks I haven't heard of. We're tracking over 9,000 stocks alone within the VectorVest 7 software, so it's hard to keep, an eye on all of these guys. Now, that being said, this is an old short squeeze candidate. That's right, retail meme stock from the COVID era that's making a comeback this year. I simply just wanted to search what are the highest shorted stocks right now. It's at the top of the list. It was over 60% short on the float, but out of the entire list of short candidates, it was one of the few that was in positive territory and actually up over 100% year to date. Now, it's not anywhere near its previous highs. I do see some great trade opportunities when looking at the chart. I'm very familiar with the company itself because it has to do with semiconductors, computers, and without further ado, that company is going to be Newegg. That's right. So let's get started. I'm going to show you a couple articles. We're going to jump into the VectorVest 7 software. I'll let you make the decision if this high momentum short squeeze candidate is appropriate for your portfolio. All right, so this morning I came over here to MarketWatch to find the most shorted stocks in the market, right? Get some of the best short candidates. Again, this is very volatile, very technical trading. Make sure you're disciplined and make sure you're okay with some volatility before even looking at these type of stocks, right? But as I went through the list, I saw Newegg at the top of the list. And I decided, let's go down here, see if there's any other candidates. But looking at the numbers here, other than having the highest shorted float, 64% here, look at it today. It's showing momentum to the upside today, almost 10%, and year to date up 126%. On top of that, this company has done a short squeeze before. Look at the date here, July 8th, 2021, exactly 5 years ago from today. Newegg stock, a different kind of short squeeze, right? Retailer Newegg spiked by almost 150%. Now you can see here, look, AMC, GME, right? Those are the big names when it comes to the short squeezes of the COVID era. But Newegg, there's a couple others obviously out there, but Newegg coming back. So let's go ahead and jump in the VectorVest 7 software. Take a look at our proprietary indicators. See if the stock does have any fundamental value. Otherwise, we're going to jump right in the charts, take a look at the graph, and follow Glenn's saying, trade the chart, not your heart. All right, I'm in the VectorVest 7 software. Again, these are proprietary indicators, mathematical formula. I'm not here to give you a biased opinion and tell you that Newegg is a good buy and all this stuff, because right now, looking at it fundamentally, it is not a good stock at all. The only thing it's got going for it is the upside momentum that we are seeing from this short squeeze opportunity. You see the value? We only value it at 66 cents. Right now it's currently trading at $18. Relative value looks at long-term price appreciation potential. These are on a 0 to 2 scale. This is about as low as it's going to get at 0.02. RS, below 1 in unfavorable territory, definitely a risky position. Now, RT relative timing, above 1 in favorable territory. So this is just letting me know that the company's got poor fundamentals, but there's a lot of magnitude in the upside trend. The bulls are taking over. Even looking at forecasted data here, sales growth rate, earnings growth rate, both negative 5% respectively. Now, right now, the VectorVest 7 software, we got a stop price here at 1086. If price action drops below 1086, that is when the VectorVest 7 system would trigger a sell rating. So let's go ahead and jump in the charts now that we know the company is not fundamentally sound. Essentially, this is going to be a technical based play or technical based trade setup, hopefully capturing some profits, whether you're going to be bullish or bearish on this position. Let's take a look at the chart and see what opportunities are presenting themselves. We're looking at Newegg on the last 2 years, right? Again, this stock is not new to pumps. Look at the last pump. Went from about, shy of $10 up over $40 till we got a big upper wick candlestick, showing that pump was coming to an end. Several smaller pumps since then. However, a down long trend till it hit its low just this past April here. But these are the technicals I want to look at. Let's focus in on a 6-month time chart. Now here we've got some moving averages of price action And if we take a look, I've got two big moving averages. I got the 150 and the 200. Look, the 150 just crossed above the 200 right now, coming in at 1913, while the 200 is at 1836. So not just from a short-term perspective, but showing us that the long-term trend is starting to turn around. This might give some optimism or, trigger some algorithm trading to help push this in the favor of the bulls and enhance the short squeeze that we see in progress. Now, other than just looking at price action, if we take a look at some of our proprietary indicators, yes, I've got moving averages on RT relative time. I got a 15 and 50-day exponential moving average in RT. I also got a 200-day and 150-day regular moving average of RT. If we notice here, look at the 150 crossing above the 200-day, right? Same thing as we saw with the moving average of price, but the moving averages of our RT, which is a short-term trend indicator, and we're just looking at the long term of this short-term indicator, right? But it's giving us a sense that the stock is actually starting to turn around and make some real progress when it comes to the long-term trend. Because trust me, I realize the stock already went from about $5 upwards to $18, right? It's already had a huge move. So I wanted to find something, at least from a technical perspective, that says, hey, this could actually have a little bit more fuel left in the tank. Now, if I zoom back out a little bit here, we will notice we're actually at these levels of support right now. They were resistance. It's around 1772, 1748. If we get any kind of pullback, this is where I'd like to see price action stay, at least if you're going to be the short-term trader holding this to the upside, right? Now, the last obstacle here is around 1875, about 75 cents away, right? After we could surpass this, look, we've got a big gap till the next level of resistance coming in at $23, $18 to $23. It's a $5 increase on an $18 stock. Was that probably just shy of 30% roughly? So you can see exactly the trade setup I'm getting to here. Now, if there's any kind of pullback or severe pullback, maybe look for a pivot around $15. But otherwise, if this thing keeps charging to the upside, again, we've got a nice big-bodied candlestick today engulfing the two prior bearish candlesticks before the bodies of those candlesticks. Very little wick at the top. If we get the confirmation around 1875, maybe 10 cents above it, hey, we've got some room to run to about $23, right? So, when you decide to jump in this position, it's going to be more so on you because, again, this is a high momentum trade. Now, let's take a look at Star Search and see what the Bollinger Bands are trying to tell us. All right, this is called the Star Search layout. High momentum layout utilized by a lot of our customers here for high momentum trades. Newegg obviously going to qualify for that, right? Now we've got two standard deviations, number 3 and a standard deviation of 1, right? Both 20-day look back periods. Essentially, it just creates as lanes, like lanes in a highway, right? If price action's in the upper lane, you'd get bullish. Here, it's showing indecision in the trend. Below or the bottom lane, more of a bearish style, right? Now you see price action staying in the fast lane here, almost utilized as a level of support. However, big body candlestick just a few days ago pushing us back in the fast lane right now. If I use a date line, we could see the upper Bollinger Band, which is usually where we're getting some rejection here, right? We see the rejection prior showing that price action overextended. But if we look at that upper band, that's coming in at $20.85. So you're almost $3 away on that. So it's showing me there can be some upside potential here before getting overstretched once again. Again, keep in mind that break in that resistance, finding the next level around $23. So right now I am optimistic on this position. I do like the nice body candlestick hitting a new high as of today. Now, as long as price action can stay above the upper band here, and look, it's around 1571, which if you remember from the last chart, we talked about that $15 mark. So if you start to see price action getting back into the 15s, that is weakness, right? Now, as far as our stop price on this position, that's again going to be our line in the sand when it comes to selling the position. Our stop price right now, 1089, and it's right near that bottom Bollinger Band. So again, if price action approaches this band, especially breaks it, not only will we get the sell recommendation in the VectorVest 7 software, but again, it's getting in the bearish lane, right? So if you want to, short this short squeeze, essentially, look for confirmation. Probably around this $10 mark to the downside. You can see some levels of support here as well. If you use a horizontal line, the swing low comes in around $9, right? But since the swing low, bulls taking charge here. So if we apply the same theory here, we could see the swing high coming in. We broke above that. So potentially, the price action could go on a run here upward to $20, $21, getting overextended and coming back to retest this level here around 1740, 1750, right? Look for that retest if you start to see rejection at the top of this upper Bollinger Band. Otherwise, that retest, if we get a nice pivot, that could be the potential entry period. Otherwise, I still like this trade setup as of right now. As long as price action can stay in the fast lane, I like what I see here, especially some of those longer term moving averages really showing the stock turning around, not only for the potential short squeeze, but to really get the stock to hit higher highs. Again, some of those prior highs were up to $40, and the stock's definitely hit higher numbers than that many years ago. Now, hopefully everyone enjoyed this presentation. Again, this is for my high momentum traders. Just wanted to throw a stock on your radar that I have not seen in the comment section. Now, if you liked the video, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you thought this video was informative, and I will see you tomorrow evening.